You came out, so let's go ahead and just get into how the 14U did. We had Graham Gaines, going 6 for 8 on the weekend this weekend, and just put on a just display of hitting.
Yeah, man, we did. We can talk about the 14U for a while if we want to.
Yes,
the top 10 quality at bat stuff. Josh had some cool stuff lined up. Didn't work out there in the intro. That's fine. I've got the stat sheets here in front of me. Josh and I went over some of the players that performed really well, and Graham was one of them. I think you said he was 6 for 8, right?
Yeah, 6 for 8, 6 quality at bats. That's a really good weekend.
Yeah, so we played 3 games, overall recap, and we did not win any games. It was unfortunate. We did not get in the win category, and we should have won 2 of the 3 games. We blew some leads, and you could tell it was our first tournament. We'll just kind of leave it at that. But yeah, man, a lot of good stuff and a lot of good competition. We played against some good teams, and that's what I told the guys, man. When you play up there at Lake Point, and when you play in the Atlanta area, there's always going to be good competition. So we played a couple of good teams. Yeah, it was good.
Also, guys, I know a lot of time, or last podcast, you could only chat if you were subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I clicked the button for where anybody could subscribe. So just let me know if you're able to chime in on the chat, even if you're not a subscriber. If not, we'll make the necessary adjustments on our end. But yeah, 14U going out strong. And the first tournament is always a learning lesson, even for the coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're learning our players because, like you said, we don't get to practice too much. Y'all had like one team practice and a scrimmage, right?
Right. One team practice and a scrimmage, and some guys couldn't make it to both.
Exactly. So it's like our first time seeing you since maybe a tryout, or even some guys only sent you video because they're really far away.
Right.
And so yeah, but we had some notable highlights other than Graham as well. So we wanted to highlight a few of our other guys as well. So we had Holton Roberts, went 3 for 6 quality at bats. I believe he had 2 walks and a hit by pitch to go along with those 3 hits as well. And so, that's a really solid weekend as well. And then you had Marsh, Adrian, and Dutcher. So I believe that's Jake, Cullen, and what's Adrian's first name?
That's Tanner.
Adrian. Yep. They had 4 quality at bats each. So, not giving away any at bats and really stepping up to the plate with a plan. So, what do you like most about this 14U team?
Man, we could talk about it like offensively in 3 games, and this is one of the takeaways I talked to the kids after the games, is we scored 20 runs in 3 games. And at a lot of levels, that's above your quota.
Right. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to score more than 7 a game to win a baseball game. And we gave 2 games away, man. I won't even mention the leads that we blew. But yeah, the defense is really what hurt us. We had a ton of errors all over the field. Didn't matter the position. And, some of the players made mental mistakes that cost us on defense. And we also had physical mistakes. And so we talked a lot about that. And we told the guys, like, hey, that's our area we got to improve, right? If we're going to be competitive against good competition, that's where we got to improve. But the offense, I mean, we had some good ABs. I haven't done the team quality at bat percentage. I bet it's close to the 50% quota.
Right, that's where we want, yeah.
When you score 20 runs in 3 games, you're doing some things right. And so if we played a little bit better defense, we would have won some games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's always hard first tournament as well, because we don't know what guys are best in what positions. Because, a lot of these guys, they'll say like, oh, I'm like, my best position is first base. But then you realize throughout the season, like, yeah, I know you said your best position was first base, but like you can actually track some balls down the outfield, or you run into different situations and scenarios like that throughout the whole summer. And so you're constantly just moving guys around to put them in the best situation to help not only the team, but to help themselves blossom as a player.
For sure, yeah. And we had the opposite happen. We're trying to figure out who's playing first. And so there's a learning curve for players and for coaches, like you said, right? And I moved guys around. I was like, man, who could play first if he's not there? And then I got to, move this piece over there. And so I made mistakes too. And if I would have known what I know now, I think we would have easily won our first game. And maybe we would have won our third game too. but yeah, there's a learning curve for the players. They don't know each other. There's a learning curve for the coach because I'm learning the players too. So it's one of those things where it takes some time. And one of the things that I told the guys was come and watch our 17U play, because when you're in the program and you start to really learn the game,
Yeah.
I have to do a whole lot less coaching. Like the outfielders are shifting by themselves. We don't even have to say it. Or they already know when we're about to do our back pick or when we're about to run our pickoff plays because they've seen it so many times and they know exactly what to expect and they can do it themselves. So that's a really cool thing. And obviously these younger guys have to get to that point. They're not quite there yet. So.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things as you get older as a player, just understanding the game more and being able to make adjustments without your coach having to move you like a chess piece, right? Because coaches really appreciate that because there's a million different things that coaches that are running through a coach's mind. Like, all right, we got, to get this guy in this position, different game scenarios, like I got to get this pitcher warmed up and I don't have a bullpen catcher. Like there's different things that are going on. And so we can't micromanage every single aspect of the game. And so when we have players with, high baseball IQ, it just makes our lives a whole lot easier when you can, shift yourselves when you're on defense. And maybe we can just, nudge you this way just from something we see from our experience. But if you're in a good general position, not only are you helping us out, but you're going to help your pitcher out, because if you're in a good position to make the play, right, you're a step over in the gap because this guy's, more of a pull hitter and you're playing more up the middle at shortstop. He's a left-handed hitter. Then you're going to make some more plays for your pitcher rather than just playing in that standard position where, that's just a seeing eye single, So there's just different things like that.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's like when the kids finally get that, and like I remember Holton, if you're listening, drop a comment. But Holton was playing shortstop and we messed up our throw around. I was like, yo, Holton, teach him, like, let's go. Like, talk to your teammates, like, let's fix it. Like, you can do that. I can't do it. I can't fix that while I'm also worried about the pitcher in the bullpen or my right fielder's playing too deep or working on giving my my back pick signs and then worrying about, hey, like we need to control the run game. Oh, but wait, the other team's third base coach is giving signs. Like I need to watch that to see if I know if he's stealing. So like if I'm trying to do those 12 things at one time, like that's why it's so important that as these kids grow and mature, they can take accountability for some of those coaching things. It's like having more coaches on the field.
Right.
And all four of those guys you listed on the screen there, those players, and I want to talk a little bit more about those guys, but those are four guys, like the higher baseball IQ guys. And like, those are the guys who can do that. And they had big weekends and that's one of the things that they'll do in the future.
Yeah. Let's go through them. Let's hear them. So Graham Games, we've obviously talked about. Talk about his at-bats though, because we've talked about 6 for 8, which is obviously, just incredible.
Right. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah. But how were his at bats? Like, how did he look in the box, the confidence? Because we're going to talk about hitting approach here in a little bit, but obviously he had a good approach.
Yeah. Graham had a great weekend. If we had to pick probably just one offensive MVP, it'd probably been Graham. He also pitched game 1 on the mound and did a great job. He limited the other team to, I think, like 2 or 3 runs over 3 or 4 innings. And we went to the bullpen and things got pretty shaky and we made some errors and ended up losing the game. But yeah, man, he was on base all weekend. I think he might have struck out 1 time. But yeah, the dude had 6 hits and 8 at bats, and none of them were really like cheap ones. He was just lining balls off.
Yeah, I saw a lot of hard hits on the stat sheet, so that's beautiful.
Yep, I got him right here in front of me. Yeah, Holton had a great weekend too. And one of the things too is like I mixed the lineup up. Like I didn't have the same lineup twice.
Right.
In those 3 games. I think like if we look at Graham, game 1 I had him hitting 4th. Game 2 I had him hitting leadoff. Game 3 I had him in the 2-hole.
Yeah, so he's all over the place.
We were bouncing around, right?
Yeah.
But that's one of the things too is I told the guys like those quality bat percentages, like a guy who's 6 for, he gets 6 hits and he has 6 quality bats and 8 trips, like that's a guy who's going to be in the top of the lineup.
Right.
And so that's why it's so important to do that. And he did a great job. Holton did a great job. Holton hit several balls hard. And Cullen did a great job as well. Tanner Adrian had a few good quality bats as well. Did strike out too much. So Tanner, if you're watching, don't strike out as much. But Jake Dutcher, I think, probably hit a couple of the hardest balls of the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he smoked a couple. Also, a guy who didn't make this graphic was Noah Dunning. Noah's been working hard, I think, on his swing in the cage with me. And when he's on time, he's got a good swing, and he pieced a couple of balls right at people.
Awesome.
I think he lined out twice right at guys. Tyler Holmes hit one hard as well. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys that I'm forgetting too. Zach hit a good ball right off the pitcher's leg that went right to the first baseman. But yeah,
Man, that's tough. That's a tough one.
so yeah, I mean, offensively for the first 3 games for a team, there was a lot of good stuff to take away. So
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I wish we could put, more guys on graphics, but obviously limited space. You don't want to cram the whole stat sheet on the graphics. So we just kind of select some of the highlights that I went through and saw. But yeah, when I saw the stat sheet, I was like, man, for 14U ball, like these guys were really getting after it, had some really good quality at bats. So that was really, really encouraging to see. Especially because a lot of times, especially in the first tournament, that could be really shaky where you get guys who are, too passive at the plate. And so a lot of the strikeouts will be up, especially the strikeout looking and stuff like that. But what I saw on the stat sheet, it was a lot of, really good at bats. So shout out to the 14U.
yeah. Brantley Nixon also, I think he was a guy who didn't strike out all weekend, if I'm not mistaken. He was like 4 for 5 or 4 for 6 or 3 for 5 on quality bats. So yeah, some of the guys are doing a good job. And it's one of those things where the more we play together, the more we're going to learn, the more I'll learn the players,
Right.
and the better the team chemistry will get. So yeah, man, some good stuff from those guys. We'll get back after it this weekend and see what happens.
Also, a big note for the 14U, because we don't officially track your stats. Like we track them. Obviously, you're going to keep, the stat sheets and everything, but they don't go into our big database. But striking out is actually negative points to your carry rating, which is why there's guys who may have like a higher average or a lower average that have a higher carry rating than some guys, because it's like if you strike out 40% of the time, even though you're hitting decently from an average perspective, your carry rating is not going to be as high, because we deduct points, because that's, especially college coaches, they don't want to see you strike out. They want to see you get in there and grind out at bat, unless you're one of those big power D1 guys that's like home run or bust, So
Right.
we don't have very many of those guys.
No, those guys in the 14U game, there's not too many of those guys.
Right. And so yeah, we put the ball in play, make something happen, because that ultimately helps your team, especially if you're a speed guy. Like for me, I couldn't strike out. Like I was just too valuable once I got on base, from a speed perspective. Because if I get on base, it doesn't even matter if I'm still. If I steal, just my presence on base, like the pitcher's going to be thinking about it. He'd get a pass ball easily, or now he's losing command because he's thinking about the threat of the steal. And so, like if you're a faster player, it's like, hey, you gotta know thyself, right? Like,
game. That's
yeah.
right.
So put that ball on the ground. It's like in the Major Leagues movie where every time Willie Mays hits in the air, they make him do the push-ups or whatever.
Right.
It's like, yeah, put the ball in play, make something happen.
Yep. Shout out to Hudson. I saw you in the chat. Caden Hogan, what's up, dude? We're gonna be talking about your school here momentarily. You guys are in the playoffs.
Yep. Hudson said, counting down the days till summer. And Caden Hogan said, what's up? So
What's up?
shout out to all you guys in the chat. We really appreciate you. But yeah, so now let's get into the newest addition to the coaching staff. So we have some new faces. One of them has already been working with our players at different tryouts, and he was also at media day. His name was Cal Gentry, a great guy. We grew up playing ball with him. And I actually played against him in college as well, because he went to Georgia College. So he's a big conference rival of ours as I went to North Georgia. But we caught up with him at Coastal Stars Media Day. So take a look at this interview here. Staff, Mr. Cal Gentry. We go way back, even though he is new. How are you feeling about the new year and coaching for the Coastal Stars?
Man, I'm so excited. Heard a lot of great things about the program, and that's what made me want to come on board, was just how much fun, how much good baseball it is, and I'm really excited for this summer.
Awesome. Now, our big motto is get better and get seen. Obviously, as baseball players, as people, we're always trying to get better. But these guys transitioning into high school, or already in high school, looking to get a scholarship. You haven't played college ball at Georgia College. What is the best advice you have for these kids?
I mean, just play hard. Hustle is the one thing that nobody else can take away from you. So if you hustle, you'll be seen. As long as we're playing hard and playing like our hair's on fire, we'll be in good shape.
Awesome. Well, Cal, thank you for stopping by. We're looking forward to big things. Oh, one more thing before you go. It's one thing that we're going to ask. What are some goals? We're going to ask kids, like, what are their goals for the summer? But as a first-time coach with the Coastal Stars, what are you looking forward to, and what are some goals that you might have set?
So one big goal for me, I'm a big competitor. I want to win at least one tournament.
Okay, that's big. You're shooting for the
tournament.
Stars.
Shooting high.
Yeah.
So big expectations out of my team this year. So they better be ready.
All right.
And other than that, one goal is that kids will, one, be seen, and also that they have a lot of fun. Because me and you both know that that once kids reach a higher level, it becomes more of a job, like in college.
Yeah. And some of the joy can be taken away.
Some of the joy can be taken away. So if they can enjoy as much as they can right now, then that'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Cal, for stopping by. We're at Coastal Stars Media Day. Hope everybody is having a good one. Until we see you next time. Yeah, so that was a little taste of Cal Gentry, Coach Cal.
Shout out to Cal. What's up, Cal?
Yeah, I liked a lot of what he said there about getting after it. Bold
goal.
Yeah, there. Bold goal there. Like he's trying to pull. Who was the coach? I'm blanking on the coach we had in the fall.
Oh, Chase Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno.
Yeah,
he's trying to
Chase Bruno. Chase, I don't know if you're watching this.
He's trying to pull a Coach Bruno.
Chase he coached one fall last year. His team won the tournament.
The very first tournament he coached,
and he was at. He's
at.
Speaking of Coach Chase, we'll spend some time talking about Cal. But Coach Chase, we're still in contact with him. He's over there in the Myrtle Beach area. Wants to come back and coach again this fall. So hopefully he'll be back. No, Chase is the man too.
Yeah, he's now running a little, I guess, drills kind of.
Let's shout him out.
Yeah,
let me pull up his page.
It's called Too Smooth Baseball.
That's
I believe.
Right. Too Smooth.
So he's teaching young baseball players how to be too smooth on the diamond.
That's right.
So it's been really cool. Hold on, let me make that bigger for you.
Boom. Y'all go follow Coach Chase.
That's
wrong camera.
Yeah, there we go. We're good.
Too Smooth Baseball. Shout out to Coach Bruno. Y'all go give him a follow. He's doing some good stuff over there. He's helping kids. He's a kind of like myself, infield background guy. So he's been doing a lot of the lessons and stuff, coaching some youth guys out there. But he wants to be, another great example of Coastal Stars family.
Right.
Even though he's not coaching with us right now, we're still talking about him. He's still part of our family. So yeah. Uh-oh, Brantley.
Brantley said, I found the other channel.
That's right.
Coach Juice.
Love that.
Juice Jones fishing, baby.
Hey, Brantley, I don't know if Coach Cal's watching this, but Coach Cal can fish too now. So you see Coach Cal around, talk about fishing with him.
Yeah, shout out to Jake Dutcher with the Bo Greer in the chat. Let me see him.
Hashtag Bo Greer.
Well, back to Cal.
Sorry, I derailed us there.
No, you're good. You're good. He was phenomenal baseball player in college. Great baseball player coming up, but numbers were just absolutely absurd in college. I remember because I heard he was signed into Georgia College. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna be able to face one of my guys from back home. And then like a couple weeks in, they're like, dude, this Cal Gentry kid's hitting like 600. And I was like, what? And I had to go look up the stats, and he was just like astronomical numbers. So, and it just continued throughout his whole baseball career at Georgia College. So, shout out to him. And not only is he a good baseball player, just a great guy, as you saw in that interview as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Cal's going to be awesome this summer. He's going to be one of the 16U coaches. So you 16U boys, you might have Coach Cal. You'll be lucky if you do. But yeah, no, all of our coaches are great, man. And like you mentioned, dude, some of his college numbers are just insane. I mean, so he won the Peach Belt batting title twice.
Yeah,
not once.
That's
twice.
Crazy.
Yeah,
there's some dogs in the Peach Belt.
Incredible. He has the most career hits in Georgia College history in the NCAA era.
That's crazy.
Also, I believe his dad played at Georgia College. I think that's right. Like
I'm not sure.
I think it's a family thing.
Okay.
Cal,
but that's really cool if it is.
Yeah, no, Cal, if you're listening, hop in the chat and correct me if I say anything wrong. Yeah, 2-time All Peach Belt first team. He's a NCAA regional all tournament team. And yeah, I think his freshman year. I think that was just like the unreal year.
Yeah, it was
he
crazy.
Won the batting title or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, incredible player. He's going to be an awesome coach. He's a current coach as well now for one of the middle schools.
Right.
He's a teacher. So he'll have the summers off. I know his family really well. So yeah, man, he's going to be awesome. Fantastic addition to our coaching staff. We're excited about it, and he's excited about it too with some lofty goals.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what you want. You want guys to come in the program like Bruno last year. He's like, yeah, let's go,
Yeah,
and
like, let's win.
And he pushed it. He helped push the program forward
Yeah.
with not only helping the guys to get better and get seen, which is our motto, but then able to make us more competitive just by his spirit and what he brought to the team as well. So great job, and I have no doubt Cal's gonna have that similar energy, bring the similar energy. What I want to talk about is a little bit of how we go about choosing some of these coaches. I caught up with Coach Trent at Coastal Stars Media Day, and he alluded to a little bit about what we look for in the coaches, because everybody, whether they were a good player, maybe not meant to coach. So I want everybody to check this out, and then we'll come back.
You know better than anyone, we're not only very picky about our players, but we're even more picky with our coaches. As you guys, anybody who's been involved with the travel ball showcase baseball circuit, can attest to, there are a lot of baseball coaches out there who may be good baseball coaches, but they're not exactly men that you would want serving as a role model or leading, your young boys, your young men, your teenagers outside of baseball.
Right.
They're not necessarily good role models. They don't exactly represent things that we try to represent. And because of that, we really think that we are a great organization that allows people to not only trust us with coaching their children with baseball, but also providing quality advice, quality mentorship, quality role models, and helping them develop values and character that will help them beyond their baseball careers.
Right, absolutely.
So yes, that was Coach Trent, just giving us a little taste of how we kind of vet and go about hiring coaches. Because in the past we've had to turn down some coaches and dealt with all sorts of stuff as well. And so talk about that process of how we go about deciding who can be a part of a coaching staff.
Yeah, man, easier said than done. I can tell you that.
No, for sure.
Because it really is, man. And when you run a program like we do, where we try to make it family oriented, it would be easy for us to just try to grow as fast as possible. But when you do stuff like that, and when you just try and get as many players as you can and have as many teams as you can, like that's when you lose a little bit of your identity, right? When you bring too many people on board or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, it's really about mentorship first and just having that positive impact. Because the reality is, at the end of the day, baseball ends, and it's going to end for everyone.
Right.
Whether you're 45 and you're a big league Hall of Famer, or you get cut from your high school, whatever the case may be, baseball is going to end. But the stuff that lasts a lot longer than that is the character you develop and the relationships that you make, and stuff in that realm, as opposed to, man, I was a good baseball player. And it's funny too, because we had our first Bible study with the 14U guys on Sunday, and we talked about identity, and we talked about where is your identity found. And it doesn't matter what you do between the lines, because that's, if you're a Christian, that's not what your identity is.
Right.
We won't get into all that on the podcast tonight, but yeah, man, it's funny that you mentioned that, because that was the first study I decided to do with those guys. And that's kind of one of the things that's so important. And that's why when we get a guy that I know and I trust and I'm excited about, like Cal and like Chase as well, both of those guys are great examples of the type of guys we're going after. So really excited about those two guys. And yeah, man, it's all about having a positive impact.
I love it. So yeah, speaking of coaches, we have to instill, not only values, but also good baseball mentality. And so part of that is the hitting approach. And so let's get into talking about, our overall hitting approach and philosophy. Also, shout out to Jaden Daniels, who is in the chat as well.
Yep. What up, Jaden? How you doing, man?
Saying,
Lowndes
what's
County.
up, coach? What's up, my man?
We'll talk about Lowndes in minute 2.
Yep. Lowndes is still bidding for a ring. But yeah, so let's just talk about the overall hitting philosophy, and also just, why we preach what we preach.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Do you have the philosophy pulled up or no? I don't know if you've pulled it or not. If not,
I didn't pull it.
Okay, that's fine. I've got it right here. We can talk about some stuff. Yeah. So over the years, we've developed different philosophies. Like we have some base running stuff that we'll talk about, and a lot of this stuff too. Like even if we don't physically put it in the players' hands, like they're gonna hear it, right? Like we talked already a ton about making mistakes. Like mistakes are gonna happen, especially with the 14 you guys over the weekend. But what kind of mistakes do we want to make? We want to make aggressive mistakes, not the scared mistakes. But yeah, the offensive approach is kind of similar to that. The first thing on our offensive approach is just swing the bat. And that's what I was telling the guys over the weekend, like, hey, we're going to be aggressive. With runners in scoring position, we don't take fastballs. So yeah, swinging the bat is a big thing too. And then we have like general hitting approach stuff, right? So we talk about mentality. We talking about understanding the situation of the game and what your approach should be depending on the situation. And then the cardinal rule too, like I've already mentioned, is a big one. And that's when there's runners in scoring position, like you just don't take fastballs for strikes.
Right.
And even more so, it gets more and more important. As you get older, you start to develop more of a mental game, right? And it becomes more important to know like, oh, hey, like this guy's throwing 65, 70% sliders when runners get in scoring position. Like maybe he's going to throw me 3 of those instead of fastballs.
Right.
And so stuff like that becomes more important. And that's what it talks a little bit about in our offensive approach. But yeah, man, I told some of my guys over the weekend, we faced a pitcher. I think it was game 2. He was a pretty good pitcher. We didn't have as many hits. We only scored like 2 or 3 runs. And we were watching him warm up, and he showed he was going to throw a fastball and a breaking ball and kind of mix.
Right.
He had command of both. And I said, what's the best way to hit his curveball? And they were both like, I don't know. Like,
right.
Try to hit right field or whatever. And I was like, here's the best way is don't miss the fastball. Because he was throwing fastballs first pitch 90% of the time or whatever. And I was like, dude, you want to hit the curveball? Yeah, me neither. Just hit the fastball and don't miss it. And so when you take a fastball for strike 1 against a guy who's throwing a curveball for a strike as well and has command of it, put yourself in a hole. So yeah, being aggressive is big for us offensively. Swinging the bat, don't give away your ABs. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to give
That's
away your ABs.
That's one of my biggest things.
But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in there too, and this is one of the things too that kind of develops as we go on, and it changes from team to team too. Like we might have a team who's swinging too much, right? And it depends on the situation and who the team is and what the players are. But overall, man, it's just about being aggressive. It's about getting your swings off and getting your best swings off. So
that's it. That's
a lot
it.
of stuff there.
I think one of the biggest things that you kind of alluded to there was you go from, a good hitter to a great hitter. I think when you go from, I'm just trying to hit this ball with good mechanics to, like I understand what the pitcher's trying to do to me. And you're not really worried about mechanics because, when you're in the box, it's about competing, right? And you got to understand like, hey, what is this guy trying to pitch to me? Or what is this guy trying to do? Like, what's his pattern? Like you said, like this guy has a good curveball. Everybody's looking silly on the curveball. It's like, all right, if you're not good at hitting curveballs or you're not going to sit on it when you know it's coming, then just hit the fastball. He's been throwing it first pitch. So
right.
It's those mental games that, really elite hitters, all the pros, that's constantly what they're doing is like, all right, like this guy's throwing 100 miles an hour. I can't sit on the fastball and the slider. And Paul Skeens has a splinker or whatever that thing he's throwing this year. So it's like you really have to try to understand, hey, what is this guy going to try to do to me based on, my scouting report? But that's also what the pitcher's trying to do. So it becomes this game of chess, even though you play it out in a physical sense.
Right. Yeah. And that's a big one too. Like over the weekend, the 14U, it's just so easy for kids at that age when they're in the 8th grade to just sit on the bench or whatever and just hang out and talk with their buddies. And one of the things I was really trying to get them to do is to stay engaged in the game. And as soon as the other team's pitcher takes the mound, that's the information we're getting. Like you just mentioned the scouting report. We don't have a scouting report. We don't even know where this team's from.
Right.
We don't know what this guy's got. The only information we've got to go on is what his warm-up pitches look like and what he does to the hitters in front of us. And based off of that, we can still get a pretty good plan.
Right.
In 2 of the 3 games, we saw pitchers who were really only throwing fastballs, which is what you're going to get a lot as an 8th grader.
Yeah.
And then we saw one guy who had a good mix of both. He was the better pitcher, I think, that we saw. And so as soon as I saw a new pitcher come onto the mound against those guys, I was like, hey, eyes up, let's go lock in, have a plan, have an approach. And maybe some of the guys did it. Maybe the guys who we flashed on the screen did it. I don't know. Maybe that's why they did well, but who's to say? I have no idea. But at the end of the day, that's what the best hitters do. And, when I was in pro ball and when I was with the Angels, we had all the numbers. Every time a new pitcher came in, I went to the dugout because I would also, while I'm trying to watch that pitcher to see maybe his slider, maybe he spikes 3 in a row. I'm like, okay, he's not throwing me that. Or maybe he throws his changeup and he lets it slip and it goes to the backstop. I'm like, oh, he doesn't have a good feel for that.
Mm-hmm.
But while I'm also watching the pitcher, I'm looking at our notebooks because with the TrackMan and with all that stuff, I know, oh man, runners in scoring position, he throws 67% breaking balls as opposed to nobody on base. He's 72% fastballs.
Yeah.
And so based on the game situation, I'm giving myself a better chance because I know what he's probably going to attack me with.
And that's another big thing because, I guess we'll go off the established example that we have where that guy was, throwing 90% fastballs, but then curveballs. But once he got on base, did his pattern change up? Like those are things that you want to look for to give yourself the best chance when you get to that box. Like when you get into the box, you got to have a plan. It's not the time to make a plan. It's not the time to not have a plan at all. You got to have a plan of what you're trying to do based on the situation, right? Somebody on third base, less than 2 outs, right? You don't have to necessarily do too much. Like line drive in the gap, that's, ideal. But in reality, all you really have to do is hit a ground ball at shortstop. A 25 hopper is what we used to say at North Georgia. And we practice, and to give you guys some perspective, you practice that relentlessly in college. Like we would go through BP rounds. You're not just hitting and trying to hit balls hard or hit them far. Like there's a purpose to every single round that you do in college. Like our first round was always backside low, hard low contact, like driving the ball. And then some of the power guys, they were like, now you can work up after you've, started barreling balls low. Now you can start driving the ball because you get that feel for it. And now those balls carry. But if you just come out and you're popping balls up, like, everybody can catch a fly ball in college. So
Right. Yeah. And the older you get, the more important that becomes.
Right.
And that's why the game separates for the bad players from the good players. Like as you get closer and closer to high school and then possibly to college, like you have to separate yourself more and more and more by doing the small things like that. But yeah, there was one at bat over the weekend in particular that comes to mind for me. Ethan Wheeler, his first 2 at bats, he struck out, he got blown away. And then his 3rd at bat of the weekend, he came in a spot, I pinch hit him, and he came in, runner on base, and he had a tough AB, and he grinded it out, and he got the job done. Because I gave him hit and run, I think it was a 1-1 count, high fastball probability pitch, and the pitcher spikes it. And Ethan does what he's supposed to do, and he still swings. And now he's in the hole 1 and 2, but the guy got to second base on the hit and run because it worked out in our favor. And then I think he might have fouled a pitch or 2 off, and then he hit a soft ground ball up the middle, got the runner to third. He got thrown out at first, but he got the runner to third. Now we only had 1 out, and the next guy drove him in.
So that's a good at bat. Yeah.
No, that was a great at bat, a great example of that. He did a good job, and it made me even more happy because after he had struck out, he got blown away his first 2 at bats, and he came in and did that, and he made adjustments. So that was good to see. But yeah, man, and that's just one of those things. Like to baseball coaches and to guys that know the game, like there's a lot of coaches where they might not remember the small stuff like that, but like it's so important, and that's what separates the best players is the guys who can consistently find a way to have quality at bats. Like he literally just hit a 25 hopper, like you just said, to short, and he's got a dot beside that at bat because it was a quality at bat.
Exactly.
He got the job done.
And that's the thing that a lot of these guys, they think, oh, quality at bats, coach is only going to mark it down if I get a hit, walk, hit by pitch, like all the traditional stuff, right? But I've put quality at bats by several guys who, like I had a guy who led off the game, who struck out, but it was like a 10 pitch at bat, fouled off probably 4 or 5 pitches, right? And he lost the battle, right? He was facing a good hitter or a good pitcher on the mound. I was like, bro, like you just let our whole lineup see 10 pitches. before our second hitter got up to bat. Like, yeah, good job. Like, you didn't win that, but you really set us up for success because we've seen all his pitches. We kind of know, how he's going to work a hitter because we've seen so many pitches right off the bat. And so it's just different things like that will earn you, that we notice
value.
Yeah, that earn you value as a player. That coaches notice that as a young hitter, as a young player, that you're probably not necessarily thinking about, because a lot of times you're thinking, oh, like I didn't get a hit, I didn't hit that ball hard, even though I got a hit. Like, you're thinking too much about those things rather than like, how do I just get after it and be an asset to the team?
Yeah. A lot of good stuff there. A lot of good offensive stuff for sure. And those are the things that we're trying to teach kids. Yeah. And when you're in 8th grade, that's a lot to swallow when nobody's ever taught you that stuff, So it's a process. It takes time. But as they get into high school, a lot of the best players know this stuff. So there's a lot of it that I wish I knew when I was in high school, and I didn't learn it till I was in college or in pro ball, So a lot of good stuff there. Very good. Yes.
So let's get into the playoff stars. So we got several guys still ring chasing, making playoff pushes. And so we're going to go, we looked at the brackets earlier, and so we're going to try to get through and highlight
some of
as many guys as we can.
Yeah,
we're probably going to miss
some
because there's just so many people playing. But let us know if you're still in the playoffs and you're watching, and we do miss you, so we can shout you out.
Yeah, y'all do that. And it's crazy too. Like, we got players. I mean, I can't check Florida too. Like, I got guys in Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
Guys in Alabama, South Carolina, and Tennessee as well. So I didn't even bother checking those. So if we missed some of you guys there, I'm sorry. We looked at some of the Georgia stuff. And I mean, one guy. I mean, we start with the guys in the chat. Caden Hogan, Stevens County. Those guys had a good year up there. Let me see who they're matched up against. Did I make a note of that? I might have to find it on the actual bracket. But yeah, I'm looking at the brackets, and there's just so many schools too. And some of them might have even played today. I can't remember if anybody had games. I know a lot of guys are going to be playing tomorrow. But yeah, a lot of guys all over the place. Let me look at my list here. Where'd it go? There we go. So we got Lowndes still in it. So we've got Paul Tyndall. We've got several other the Lowndes guys down there. I wonder how the Mill Creek team is this year. I haven't looked at them very closely.
Yeah, Jaden just said Lowndes and Mill Creek play doubleheader tomorrow. So
right, yep. So Trace Harrell, Tyler Burnham, Paul Tyndall, and we've also had several other guys from there. Jaden, and then we had guys last year too, like Tyler Parker, Weston Hancock, some of the Lowndes guys. So I hope those guys are doing well. Good luck to you guys. And yeah. Exciting stuff. We've got some of the guys too, like some of our private school guys. They're not even there yet. Like all the Citizens Christian guys, Gray McLean, Landon Williams, all those guys. I think they're still in the regular season. They got a few more games left. So some of the guys too haven't even finished up that far.
Wow.
But yeah, Stevens County playing Redan. I don't know how Redan is, but an interesting one here is Peach County versus Bainbridge.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
That's Parker Landrum and company coming up to Peach County. I think it's Thursday, 2 games Thursday, but we got guys at both of those schools.
Torin at Peach.
And so that'll be a fun one. And then there's let's see, Effingham County, Travis and Aiden Smith playing down there versus Winder Barrow. I don't know if they're on the road or not. But it's interesting. It's funny because it's so hard to keep track of everything too. Because you got the different classifications and everything, so I'm trying to keep up with it. So if we miss somebody, y'all let us know in the chat. Anybody else commented? Sweet 16, Jaden said. But yeah, good stuff, man. Good luck to everybody who's still playing. And there's several of you guys too. And I know a lot of guys got put out in the first round too. And another interesting one, we mentioned Bainbridge. They put out Calhoun.
Oh, really?
In round 1, yeah. So that's Wes Taylor, and that's also Jake Williams, who's one of the new 17 you guys this year. I don't know if you met Jake at Media Day or not.
Jake
Williams. Don't remember him.
A lot of
new faces.
Yeah, a lot of new faces.
So, but yeah, no, it's funny too, the Coastal Stars playoff matchups. So if y'all have a matchup, y'all put it in Group Me or put it in the comment section here. I've thought about starting something new too. We could have like Trash Talk Tuesday. where during the high school season, like all the guys, like
Yeah.
they're playing each other. And
Right,
so
yeah.
like it happened earlier this year where they were talking about scouting reports and pitchers and how
Right.
they and stuff like that. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, man, kids are all over playing, and you know, it's fun playing for your high school team, man. It's a lot of fun. So you guys enjoy every second of that. High school, man, I don't know if it gets any better than high school. College ball is fun too, but when you're playing with the guys you grew up with,
it doesn't. It really
it's
doesn't.
different, you know.
Yeah, like I still, because I mean, yeah, I had a blast in college, but your senior year, my junior year, probably the best top of my baseball, just journey. Like probably my favorite season ever.
Yeah,
just because it's not even. It wasn't even so much like that's the year we won state, but it wasn't even so much that we won state. It's just all of the experiences that we were able to have, all of the different inside jokes, just the group of guys, the camaraderie that we had, just next level. Like there was just nothing like it. Even on some of the really good teams that I had in college, didn't match to that because again, those are the guys you grew up with, same hometown. And it's just a different flavor.
Yeah, no doubt. We got our Hoco guys. They got Brunswick this week, so good luck to all the Hoco guys that we know. Also, not to forget Clayton Kelly, Crawford County. Who do they have? Let me find that. I think they're playing Metter, so they've had a pretty good year too. So
there you go.
It'll be interesting there. Good luck, Clayton. But yeah, man, we got guys all over the place playing. So good stuff. You guys keep us posted. Y'all let me know how y'all do in the playoff rounds. Every year we've got at least a team or two, a few guys who are fighting for the state championship. So last year it was those Lanier County guys.
Yep. The
Cook brothers, Town of Tarbox, all those guys, they won state. So I'm hoping some more guys can do it this year. But yeah, y'all keep going, man. A few more weeks. So good luck to all you guys.
Awesome. All right. So let's get into our last segment. We're just going to do some Q&A. So everything is fair play. Well, obviously with limits, there's a fence around the field. But yeah, if you have any questions that you have for us or any comments that you want to pop on the screen, this is your time to do so. Looks like the chat's pretty light tonight. You know, several guys probably have, games or
I know some guys were
like
playing
that,
tonight. So
yeah, and there were several guys playing tonight as well.
Yeah.
So, but we still had a good crowd. I think we have 27 now. It was up to like 31 at one point when I saw. So, thank you guys for tuning in. As an outro, we are going to recognize 3 guys that have gotten all region honors so far. I know there's going to be several that may not have informed us yet or haven't even been named yet because their season's not over and what have you. But we'll give those guys a shout out on the way out. But yeah, we'll give you a minute or two to put your final questions and comments before we
somebody
wrap up.
drop a question. Come on, boys. Yeah, the chat is just light tonight. Where's everybody at? Come on, boys. Yeah, we can talk about those 3 guys, though. Yeah, so Clayton Kelly, I think he was second team all-region at Crawford, so he's been having a good year catching for those guys. And then another catcher who was in the chat last week. He wasn't in the chat this week. Maybe they're playing. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's probably playing because he doesn't miss a podcast.
He loves it. Yeah, so he was, I think, all-region first team catcher, I believe. And then we have Brogan Hunter as well. I don't know if Brogan, I can't remember if he was first base. He was probably as a first baseman.
I think he said first base, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he had a good season over there. And Jensen, his younger brother, one of the 14U guys, Jensen pitched really good yesterday. He was our starter yesterday. Awesome. Man, he went 1-2-3 in the first inning, and then the defense just absolutely fell apart behind him. So he did a good job. Shout out to Jensen. Shout out to Brogan. Shout out to Chandler. Shout out to Clayton. And yeah, we'll have more of those guys come as the seasons continue to wrap up. Like I said, some of the guys are still in the regular season. Some of those guys that got started late. But yeah, man, a lot of good stuff from players all over the state and all over the Southeast. We got guys not even in, elsewhere, not all just in Georgia. So good stuff.
All right, looks like we do have a question. So shout out to Tyler Roberts.
Tyler, what's up?
Thank you for the question, man.
Go ahead and pop it up, Josh.
Yeah, it's taking a second, but I'll read it while it's taking us time getting up there.
That's a good question,
if you're
too.
Getting looks from a school, how important are warm-up reps knowing you might not get a live in-game rep?
Yeah, Tyler just texted me too. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that's a great question. If you're getting looks from a school, how important are warm-up reps knowing you might not get a live in-game rep? There was a couple guys on the 14U team. So as I'm working with these 14U guys and as I'm learning, there's players who I'm trying to figure out where their best positions are. You know, we had some mistakes in the outfield. I moved guys into the infield, just trying to figure out what works best for the team, right? And I had one player and I was like, did you get a fly ball the entire weekend? He was like, no, I didn't get a single one. So yeah, and he spent, you know, I don't know, 10 innings out in the outfield, never had a fly ball. And so that's a really good question there too, because college coaches, their schedules are very limited, right? They play all spring, and then in the summer is when they do a lot of their recruiting. And when they come and recruit, they're not going to watch you for a week straight. You know, they've got so many players on their list.
Watch you for an inning.
Sometimes less, and sometimes they can just watch the warm ups and figure out
who they're this guy got a feel. Yeah.
And one of the things we talk about with the older guys is like, what are some of the ways you just get crossed off the list, right? And what are some ways that a college coach is like, circle your name pretty instantly, right? Like when you show up and you hit in pink Crocs pregame in the batting cage,
terrible look.
Yeah, that might get you crossed off the list, right? The pregame reps and the preparation is actually really important, and that's one of the things too. With the 14, you guys, like we try to set up the infield and we try to hit the ground balls and make them throw across the infield because everything we do translates to the game, right? And so yeah, that's a good one. College coaches pay attention to that stuff. I remember when I was, you know, trying to figure out where I was going to play in college, and I went to the camp at Georgia State, and the recruiting guy came over to me while we were warming up, and because he really liked me and he wanted me to play, you know, to be in front of the head coach, and he was like, hey, like, I didn't bring you here to mess around today. And so, like, it sets the tone immediately when you step on the field pre-game.
Like, it's about business.
Yeah, you're representing yourself. And so any college coach who's interested in a guy is going to watch that, because how you prepare is oftentimes going to translate to exactly how you play.
And you can't turn it on when, you know, your coach is looking in your eyes like, hey, this is the moment. You can't turn it on then.
That's right.
Right. It has to be done, you know, in that preparation phase when you're, you know, just hitting in your backyard even, right? And it goes back to that, the hitting approach mentality is like, you have to, you know, build that mindset as you are, you know, hitting BP, as you're going through your rounds, so that when you step in the box, okay, I'm practicing, or I'm putting into play what I've already rehearsed.
Yeah, no, there's the military saying, I don't know if it's probably the Marines, but you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to your level of training.
There it is.
Is what the phrase is. So yeah, no, that's a great question, Tyler. Appreciate it. Some of our upper class guys, definitely benefit from hearing the answer to that question. So
for sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And also, younger class guys, if you learn it early and develop that mental muscle, so to speak, then by the time you get to the upper class, it's like it's bleeding out of you. And coaches can feel that too. Like we can feel when a guy has, you know, high baseball IQ and they're really into, you know, the craft of baseball and not just out there playing just to, you know, have fun, or just because it's just something you've done your whole life. Like when you love the game, when you can get after it, that's when people really respect you. It's like Derek Jeter. And that's why he was so respected, because it was like every day, didn't matter what was going on, he absolutely got after it. And that's why he was so respected and still is respected by, you know, baseball. So
yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Next time, hopefully we get more questions. Last time we had like a whole bunch of questions. This time, not as many. But yeah, that happens. Very good. Well, Josh, thank you as always, man. Everything you've prepared, put the time in here. Any players, like I said, boys, y'all keep us posted on how your seasons are going. We've got just a few weeks before we get together. We got the practice lined up. We got inter squads lined up. We got new coaches joining the staff. So we got a lot of stuff to be excited about. Yeah, man.
Yep. Hopefully next week, if we get to do one, we can have maybe like new coach on. I know we also, we didn't mention this, we also have another new coach joining the staff as well. One of Ked's buddies that he's plays with at Emmanuel.
That's right. Shout out to Coach Hunter.
So yeah, he hasn't been around because obviously they're still in their season, but he'll be joining us right after they're done. But we're really excited about him. Let's see. We just got one comment that came in.
Yeah, that's Ethan. What up, Ethan? Shout out to you, buddy.
Yep. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man. I'm going to get Ethan out there. Ethan, I meant to tell you this, dude. Get some more reps in the outfield because you might be getting some more time in the outfield.
Yep.
If we keep making some errors. So get some work in the outfield. Work on those glove presentation things we talked about, Ethan. Jake Dutcher, shout out to him too. Just hopped in the comments. But yeah, man, a lot of exciting kids, a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, yep. Said yes, sir. Ready for the challenge. Yep. So y'all guys stay hungry. Keep getting after it, and we're gonna have a big outro. Hopefully, if it works here.
Yeah, come on, you got this, Josh.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened. I tested it too. I think what happened was I did a podcast on another channel before, and something must have happened. So, but we'll have it figured out.
Yeah, you forgot.
It started off good.
You've forgotten more stuff about the technological stuff than I'll ever know. So you're doing a great job.
All right, guys. We will see you possibly next week. Y'all be safe and good luck to our guys still making playoff runs.
See you guys. Cool. Thank you, Josh.